Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. It's a bit of a crazy day today, honestly. I was planning on doing a double upload for you guys today. You are going to be getting a double upload. This is the first of two videos. Later on this evening, I will be giving you guys my thoughts on what I thought was just going to be about the injury situation at Chelsea with Kovacic and Ziyech as Chelsea look forward to the Carabao Cup final on Sunday. However, there is news in relation to Roman Abramovich and sanctions. I'm sure if you haven't been living under a rock this morning, we've all woken up to what's happened over in Ukraine and Russia and what's going on over there. It's chaos. It's potentially huge for all of us. Let's have it right in terms of the ripple effect and what could lead on from what we are seeing today. But there is also news in relation to the Champions League final. And we now know that the final of the Champions League this season will not be held in St. Petersburg, Russia. It will be moved. So we'll get into the details of all of that later this evening. So make sure you are here for the second video of the day later today. But the first video is this, and it's Antonio Conte and what's happened at Tottenham. Now, yesterday, Atletico Madrid played Man United. That finished 1-1. Good result for Man United in the Champions League, especially away from home. But at the same time, Liverpool were beaten Leeds 6-0. And Tottenham went to Burnley and lost 1-0. Which is, I mean, it's typical Spurs at this point. You know, you lose 3 on the bounce, and then you beat Manchester City at the Etihad, doing a number on them in such great fashion, and then you go to Turf Moor and lose 1-0. It's typical Spurs. But what's happened after that was quite unbelievable. Quite unbelievable, and we're going to get into the details of it, especially as a Chelsea fan, and especially from us that have experienced this. Maybe not to this sort of level. We haven't quite experienced it to this sort of level, but we kind of know how this is going to end. And this is why, as Chelsea fans, we've said from the beginning how this story of Conte at Tottenham is going to go down. And we know, we've worn that t-shirt and we've thrown that t-shirt in the bin. Let's have it right. So let's get into it. Tottenham lost 1-0 at Burnley yesterday, and Antonio Conte came out after the game and made some crazy comments. Now, just to put it into perspective, when he beat Manchester City a few days ago, immediately after that game, what was his comments? He said, "This is one of the best groups I've ever worked with." Okay, well, let's get into what he said after losing to Burnley, because this was quite unbelievable. And then we'll give our thoughts on what has gone down. So here it is. Here's the latest. Antonio Conte, after the game, saying this: it's an unacceptable run, and the club will have to assess me. Quite unbelievable scenes there. Quite unbelievable. To sum it up, he said it means the club have to make an assessment and to understand what is the best solution. I can't accept this. He goes on to say, if we go into detail of what he actually said after the game, it was a difficult night. It's not only tonight. In the last 5 games, we lost 4 games. It means there will be an assessment about the club, about me, because I think for me, it is very frustrating to lose 4 out of 5. For sure, the situation speaks clear. I'm really sorry for the fans. I'm really sorry because I think they don't deserve this. But when you lose 4 out of 5, it means the club have to make an assessment. Also to speak together and to understand which is the best solution. In this situation, the players are always the same in this club. The club changes coaches, but the players are the same, but the result doesn't change. I repeat, I am too honest to accept this type of situation, and for sure we will make an assessment with the club, because I repeat, it is not right. It is not right. It is not good for everybody to continue to lose, and I can't accept this. It's not good for nobody. And then he starts to throw his future into doubt by saying, I came here to help the club, and if the problem could be the coach, I'm ready to go. No problem. Unbelievable here, honestly. I think that what we are doing everything to try to improve the situation, but maybe it is not enough. It is very frustrating. This is the first time it has ever happened in my life. Maybe I am not so good. I think Tottenham called me to improve the situation, but I am too honest to close my eyes and to continue to tell I want to finish the season in this way, but my salary is good. I am not this type of person. I have ambition. I hate to lose, and we've lost 4 out of the 5 games. For me, I repeat, this is unacceptable. I mean, the whole thing is quite unreal when you think about it. He goes into more detail and he keeps repeating himself in relation to losing 4 out of 5. And he goes into grave detail about how it's unacceptable and this can't continue. And I'm not used to this. And it's the first time in my career this has ever happened. And, you know, I'm not someone that's just going to stay here and pick up a salary and pretend everything is okay. I mean, all of that, to be honest, we expect from Antonio Conte. And as a Chelsea fan, right, here's where I think this is going. And here's how I read the situation. I think 99.9% of Chelsea fans will agree with me on this, because we haven't really seen it to this extent at Chelsea, but we've seen what he does when he downs tools. This is him downing tools. Just to clarify the situation for any Tottenham fan that can't read in between the lines. This is him basically saying, I don't know what to do anymore. And I'm not going to resign. Because, let's have it right, if he were to resign, he wouldn't get paid. And Antonio Conte, the way he sees things, he, I believe, is someone that will happily come to a diplomatic solution. But he wants to be paid. And he wants to be given what is his and what he is due for the work that he has done. And rightfully so, because at the end of the day, he's a manager. He's employed by a club. He feels like he should be compensated for the job that he has done. And he feels right now that he is probably not to blame for what is going on. I think he has realised the severity of the situation at Tottenham, which I don't think he read properly when he joined. Now, if we go back, before hiring Nuno Espirito Santo as their manager from Wolves, they approached Antonio Conte, if you remember that clearly. And Antonio Conte didn't accept. We remember this. Months before he actually became Tottenham manager, before they hired Nuno, he was approached and he said no, right? There was a fallout, he didn't agree, and nothing happened. Then later on, he accepts. He's had one January transfer window. And now I think that he has seen how the club operates in terms of a transfer level. He knows up until the end of the season, this will not end well. And I think he has now made an assessment looking at Manchester City, Liverpool, even Chelsea. And then if you even take into context Man United, Arsenal, West Ham, and some of the clubs that are hovering about that situation where Tottenham are in the table at the moment, I think he has now dawned on himself that this club, this team, are not going to be getting any sort of silverware anytime soon. It's not happening. Forget it. Forget it. The one saving grace they probably had was the Conference League, and then they got kicked out of that. So, you know, that's not happening. But when you look far forward into next season, the season after that, Tottenham need wholesale changes. And I think now it's dawned on him after one transfer window and he's seen how he's managed to let go of 4 players and only bring in 2, that Daniel Levy is not the guy to change the situation at Tottenham, which is what we've been saying since day one. That this partnership was never going to work. Now, Antonio Conte, after that loss at Burnley and 4 out of 5, everything he said is quite spot on. But what he has done now is happily down tools and conceded that this team are just not good enough. And he, I think, has realised is not someone that is going to change the situation like that. Which is what he wants, because he is a serial winner. Let's have it right. He is someone that wants trophies. He can't bear not being at least in the conversation of winning something. Let's have it right. When he was at Chelsea, that second season, as Premier League champions, he still won an FA Cup, despite being in a situation that he was in where he felt like Chelsea didn't back him. And we got him signings. They just weren't good signings. Let's have it right. We brought in Zappa Costa and Morata and flipping. I mean, you know, it was a horrific window. Let's just pretend that never happened. We brought Barkley. I mean, we brought in Giroud, which at the end of the day was quite a good one. We brought in Rudiger, which at the end of the day was quite a good one. Kante came in and around that time during the first window under Conte, which was a good window. But everything afterwards just didn't materialise. And he felt like he wasn't being given the resources. At Tottenham, he's definitely not being given the resources. And if he thinks, obviously, I think he's come to the realisation that in the summer, Tottenham are not going to make wholesale changes in favour of Antonio Conte. And even if they were to try, Tottenham would still not be even close to the level of Man City, Liverpool, even Chelsea, to try and compete for a league title, which is what Conte wants. And if he feels like he's not going to get there, he's going to rock up a fuss and he's going to be like, look, this team's just not good enough. It's as simple as that. And he's very vocal. So now I think he has come to that realization what I think his end goal is he wants to get sacked. And at the end of the season, I think he will be sacked. That's my personal opinion. But he has to be sacked. This is the thing. He won't just resign and walk because he knows that he's not going to be paid that way. And as a manager, an employee of a club, I feel like he feels that he needs to be compensated. Just like anyone else in their job feels like they have to. When deep down, he feels like he's not the real problem here. It's the structure of Tottenham, which I think he's now realised isn't something that he can work with. Which, again, is what we've been saying from day one. Now, he doesn't have that long left in terms of a contract. Let's remember this. If I'm not mistaken, I think he signed an 18-month deal. So up until the end of the season, I think he'd only be compensated for possibly another 6 to 12 months, somewhere around there. So it's not a massive payout, but it's something. And at the end of the day, he probably feels like, just give me my money and let me go. Because this situation is beyond saving. So from a Chelsea perspective, I don't think Conte is going to be Tottenham manager for very much longer. If I'm being completely real, end of the season, I think he's going to realise and probably speak with the club up until that point where, look, this is, you either do two things. Two things. I think he'll put an ultimatum to Daniel Levy here, which Daniel Levy won't accept because it's Daniel flipping Levy and everyone knows what Daniel Levy's like. But he goes, look, you're going to have to support me and get me every single player that I ask for. And we can change this entire team. And there is no trying to penny pinch. There is no trying to save a little bit of money here and a little... No. You get me who I want. Or I'm gone. See you later. Pay me my money and sack me. And that's what I think he's waiting for now. Because he knows that option 1 is not going to happen. Until the end of the world. Daniel Levy wouldn't do that. So I think now he is indirectly in the press trying to look frustrated. Well, he is frustrated. But start to put little sound bites out, little things to try and cause the situation to grow. That way, Tottenham have to take action. That way, he gets sacked. That way, he gets his money. He's out of a job and he can wave Tottenham goodbye. And just, leave himself stress-free with a nice bank account there for him to go on holiday and start looking for the next job. And he probably won't put Tottenham on his CV. You know when a job goes so badly, I don't know if this has happened to any of you. Luckily, it's not really happened to me. But I assume that when a job goes so badly for someone, where they just leave and then they look for the next job and they don't put it on their CV. They just pretend it never happened. So the last job, Antonio Conte on his CV will probably be like, hey, my last job, you're asking what my last job was? It was Inter Milan. I won the Scudetto. I think that's what's going to happen now. Tottenham? No, I was never at Tottenham. Don't know what you're talking about. So look, we'll see what happens. Obviously, I'm just kidding and I'm just having a little joke around there, but from a Chelsea perspective, I can read exactly the body language of Antonio Conte because we've seen this at Chelsea. Not to this extent, but we've seen signs like this. He is downing tools. He will want to go. I think he wants out, and he's trying to maneuver the way for it to happen very soon. So we'll wait and see what happens. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, obviously, about this scenario, about Antonio Conte, about 4 losses out of 5. It's a bad situation. And where do you see it going from here? I'd love to know your thoughts. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know. Now, thank you all so much. Don't forget to catch video number 2 of the day later on. As I've said, I will discuss the Kovacic-Ziyech update in terms of injuries for the Sunday Cup final against Liverpool, Roman Abramovich, the sanctions going on now, and the Champions League final being moved. All of that I will address later on, so make sure you're here for that. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you later. Have a good one, people. In a bit, take care, and peace.